Hi, I'm Mark, and in this video, I'm going to show you 10 different tips and tricks that can enhance your Minecrafting experience. Now, this is episode 1 of many because there are so many different tips and tricks out there. Now, you may know some of them, but I got a feeling you don't know all of them. So let's get started. The first one has to do with buttons. Now, buttons all look the same, but what if you want them to look a little different? Well, you can color code them. All you need to do is put an item frame and then a block of wool. And now you've got a color-coded button. What I like is that it adds a little three-dimensionality to the button besides, which makes it look really cool. You can have all different colors. So maybe if I put it right there. So maybe this is hot water and this is cold water. Or maybe this is lava that comes streaming down and maybe this is water that comes streaming down. And if we make this last one yellow, it could be like, did it again, like pee streaming down. So that's our first tip, color coding buttons. Now the next one has to do with that banner back there. Now what if we really like that banner and we want to duplicate it, but we don't want to burn up all the different dyes? All you have to do is take a copy of that banner, put the same color base banner in this case I started with a white banner, and you get a duplicate. Now the cool thing is that your original banner is still there. So now you have two banners of this kind of American flag-ish banner, which is pretty cool. You can also do a similar thing with books. Now if we take a look at this book, it says Adults Only Minecraft is the greatest YouTube show ever. Very sage advice. So we want to duplicate the show all of our friends. Now you got to make sure this is a signed book, and that's so you can tell by the shining that it's been signed. So we put that up here. We put a book and quill up here, and now we get a duplicate. So we have two books that say AOMC Rocks. By the way, AOMC is Adults Only Minecraft. So that's how you can duplicate books and banners. A lot of people don't know that. You're probably saying to yourself, oh, duh, who doesn't know that? But there are a lot of people, and maybe it's you, that didn't know that. So let's move on. The next one has to do with cooking. Now if you take a look, that's a mushroom block in there. Now I put some steak in there, and it starts cooking. Now the reason is that mushroom block is just like any other fuel. So think about it. If you need a lot of fuel in a hurry, plant a mushroom, take some bone meal, sprinkle it on there, and you can take those blocks and turn them into fuel. If you've got all the things that you need, it's a very, very efficient way of making fuel. So give that one a try. Now next up is something, Racked Veldjoy. In case you're wondering where that name comes from, that's my in-game name. But anyhow, one of the things that I learned just recently, that by pushing F3 and B, I can turn on the hitboxes for all the mobs. Anything that's clickable, you can see that this has got a hitbox around it as well, will show the hitbox, which can be really convenient in PvP situations, or if you're having a little trouble trying to kill a chicken or a pig or whatever, you can turn on these hitboxes. Quite honestly, I'm not a big fan because I think they detract from the game, but maybe you'll enjoy using them. Moving on, this one isn't really a tip and trick. This is more of a, did you know that, let me move out, that pigs have nipples? I did not know that. In looking through Reddit, I discovered pigs have nipples. So today I learned pigs have nipples. So they're obviously girl pigs. Next up, let's see, what is this? This is number 5. Okay, now watch what happens. We light things up. So how is that signal getting to whatever this is here? What if we put it over here? Nothing happens, but we put it here, again we get light. Put it here, again we get light. We put it over here, again we get light. So how is that happening? Well, all you got to do is look under the carpet here. And you can see we've tied into a redstone lamp. Now the interesting thing is, anytime we charge one of these blocks and we power that block, it will automatically tap through here, and yet we can cover it up with carpeting. This makes laying out redstone a lot easier if we're inside a building. You carpet the building, you can lay all your redstone underneath there easily. Also, you'll notice that when we lit it up, the light was able to get out through the carpeting. It's a great way to light places. I've talked about that in other videos, is to put your lighting underneath the carpet. So let's do it right this time. There we go. Helps when you put in the right commands. Okay, now here's another light. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, here's another redstone lamp. And if we turn it on, it doesn't light. Why is that? Oh, there's no redstone between it. Okay, so let's put a little redstone between it. We'll take our redstone, we'll put it right there. And, oh, I forgot to put one there. And yet it lights. Why is that? Well, here's the reason. Right here is a barrier block. And you can see the outline of that barrier block. Now, obviously, this will only work in creative or with cheats turned on, but you can actually use a barrier block to transmit a redstone signal. Now, obviously, it's just like any other block. You're not going to be able to transmit it over a distance, but it's a way to connect up without showing any redstone in that middle spot right there. So keep that one in mind. So you can use barrier blocks to transmit redstone. All right, number 7. Number 7 is right here. If you look, sand is floating, gravel's floating, and even cooler, there's an anvil floating. The reason they're floating is because I put vines underneath them. Now the vines will curl underneath the gravel and the sand, which is kind of cool. You get this viney shelf here, but underneath the anvil, nothing at all. So that's kind of a cool trick. You could actually create a ceiling of anvils on a 2-wide tunnel, which would be kind of a neat effect if you've never done it before. Or if you have done it before, it would still be a neat effect. So moving on, this one I found amazing. How to turn a cauldron into a trash can. So let's say we want to get rid of, oh, I don't know. No, that's too good. Let's get rid of this. All right? We can walk over, we can throw it in the cauldron, and we can mix. Let's try that again. There we go. And it disappeared. Now where is it? Oh my gosh, it disappeared. Just like a real trash can. We open this up, and we can see there's a hopper underneath. Now I did not know this at all, but by putting that hopper underneath, you can suck items right through that cauldron, which is very cool. This will be my garbage can of choice from now on. Put the little sign on it, and now you have a trash can. So, pretty cool. Moving on to let's see here, number 9. Wow, we are that far already. Number 9, you're probably looking at these and going, how did he do that? There's no fences connecting in between these. Well, the way I did that was to use some nether brick fence and some dark oak fence. They're relatively similar in color, so it's hard to tell the difference at first glance. But since they will not connect to each other, you end up with these little poles, which for some circumstances can be really cool. So keep that in mind. Dark oak and nether brick fence, and you can put them together like this. Now our last tip is this one. Let's say we've got a wolf in here, and we got our sheep over here, and we want to be able to pet them both. Now we go over here, we can't jump the fence. Can't jump the fence. But we want a way to get in there without having to have a gate. Well, that's what this little wool carpeting is for, and I kind of gave it away because I jumped up on the right away out of habit. But now we can get in here, but the sheep can't get out. Hop back up in here and we can get out. Now personally, I'm not a big fan of these sitting on top of the fences, but they are super convenient. And one of the servers that I'm on uses these throughout the corrals, and they work really, really nice. But again, I think they're kind of ugly. But hey, that's up to you. You do what you want. Now, I said that was number 10, but I'm going to show you a bonus one. You probably noticed this bone meal sitting here. And this is another one I didn't know until somebody showed me. Let's say we've got all this plain grass, and we want to make it pretty. All we have to do is sprinkle bone meal on it. And we get all these flowers and grasses. So it's a great way to turn a very clean surface into something a little more rustic looking, a little more natural looking. And on that note, with flowers and weeds and pretty things, I'm going to wrap up this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a comment or give it a like. If you didn't like it, by all means, keep that to yourself. But either way, subscribe. Thanks for watching.